The following podcast is taken from a live broadcast on Inspire FM.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulil Karim wa ala alihi wa ashabihi yawman nistanti sunnati yawmaddin. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear listeners, you are listening to Welcome to Islam show on Inspire FM 105.1. My name is Saeed Chowdhury, and today I have a co-presenter in the studio with me, Brother Paul Cooper. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Paul.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Between
myself and Brother Paul, today, inshallah, in this show, we will be talking about mainly the supports for new Muslims, especially in Luton, inshallah. Now, Welcome to Islam show has been running for almost a few years now, and through this show, we've spoke about, on many occasions, about the needs for support for new Muslims. Alhamdulillah, this show has inspired some of the community's members to basically work and to investigate and establish some sort of support platform within the community. And I know there's some supports are already within Luton, and we're going to be talking about them today, inshallah, in our show.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
So how are you today, Brother Paul?
Oh, mashallah, not too bad. I've had quite a tiring week. Felt a little bit under the weather earlier in the week, but I'm done a lot better today. How about yourself?
Yeah, it's cold, brother. When it gets to winter, for some reason, it seems to drown me. I don't really like cold. I feel the temperatures really affecting me. So alhamdulillah, I need to cope with the cold weather better, I think. Hence why I've got a cup of tea with me. Hopefully that will help.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, dear listeners, you are listening to Welcome to Islam show, and today we are talking about the support for new Muslims, inshallah. Brother Paul, if I can ask you to highlight what supports are you aware of within Luton for new Muslims?
Mashallah, the one that I know best myself is organised via the Hockwell Ring Masjid. I'm not aware personally of any others, but I'm sure there perhaps are. And Hockwell Ring has been working quite hard for at least the last 2 years, and they now have quite a good network of people getting together.
Yes.
And there's also a group run by one of the female converts, which is quite active and has dinners for people to get to meet each other, and arranges people to come and do
Luton Revert Group.
Yeah. Taught sessions.
Sure.
on points of interest. So I would say for our community, actually, for anyone coming new into the faith, there's very strong networks of support there, and there's lots of routes where you can find information. I can't really comment on how things were, because many years ago, because I wasn't born and brought up here, but
sure.
I definitely have noticed a big change in the time since I've been living here. I've been here 20 years now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, brother. You mentioned right at the beginning about the Hokul Ring New Muslim Circle. We are going to be, talking about in depth about this circle, how it was formed and how it's been running, and bit later on throughout the show, inshallah. What I like to do is just start with the hadith from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam about the new Muslims, how Prophet ﷺ recognized a newcomer into the deen. It's very important that when we have new Muslim, we all get excited at the beginning, when they're doing Shahada. And we know from the Shahada, for some people, it is, life-changing moment. It's a big change. And once the Shahada is taken, the community is very happy to, embrace the Shahada. But once the Shahada is done, the new Muslims are on many occasions they're left by themselves to start their journey on this path they have taken, which is a vast path. It's not easy for them. And what Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did say, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the best among you in the days of ignorance are the best in the days after accepting Islam, provided they acquire true knowledge and understanding of Islam. It's a fiqh hadith in Bukhari and Muslim. Now, it's very important that the new Muslims, after accepting Islam, has the platform to acquire knowledge and understanding of Islam, where they can feel comfortable in doing so, and meeting the existing Muslim community needs to facilitate that, and that's what we have done in Hokul Ring Masjid. We have established a circle, a meeting place, which happens twice a month, second Thursday and the last Thursday of every month. And it's been going on for almost a year now. For an hour every second Thursday and the last Thursday of every month. Alhamdulillah, brother Paul, you are part of this organization as well. You have attended some of the sessions, the meetings that we've arranged, where we facilitate the new Muslims. Tell us about some of your experience from the circles when you've taken part, attended. How did you feel with your experience? Can you just share with our audience, please?
I think it's been a lovely opportunity to be able to meet people that I didn't know before. There's been people coming that have been Muslim from birth, because they want to get involved helping to teach the new Muslims. There's been people like myself who've been Muslim now for quite a long time, and there's also been people there that have been Muslim quite a short time.
Yes.
And this is actually really, really helpful, because I think it's very easy, and I could include myself in this, because people will sometimes say to me now, what's it like being Muslim? Is it a big change? I was actually asked something similar to this recently at work, and I just sat there and I turned and smiled. I said, if you want an honest answer, I said, I really can't really remember very well. I said, it's been so long now. I said I became Muslim in 1992.
Yeah.
So it's more than half my life.
Of course.
I'm 52 now. So it's been a very, very long time. So of course for me,
you are more of an established Muslim, so you.
In my head, I don't think of myself as new anymore.
Yeah, of course.
And of course,
so you're in a position to help a new Muslim, welcome them into the Deen, and share your experiences with them, and they can get inspired by some of your, experiences and knowledge that you have, and you can pass on to new Muslims.
And You know, I mean, of course, when we have a proper understanding of Islam, of course, we know that race, of course, doesn't come into it. But of course, if you're an English person and you become Muslim in this country, just on the simple numbers and probability, of course, when you are then going into the mosque, you are very much immediately a person visibly that can be seen different to everybody else, and in those early days, I can remember a situation thinking, am I going to fit in here? Is there going to be... I mean, because if you don't know, of course, the oddest things pop in your mind, isn't are people going to treat me funny? Are they going to tell me to leave? I mean, all of these things now, which I can say, seem completely a silly thing to think. But of course, because you don't know how people are going to react, I can remember times when I was going into mosques in the very early days, in the early 90s, and thinking, how are people going to react? How, are they going to be friendly?
Yes.
Are they going to say, this place is not for you, get out? All of these I can remember all of these things going on in my head, and it is a wonderful thing when, and I can remember so many times, people coming up to me when they saw me in the mosque, and they were sort of seeing me, not knowing anyone, and so many times people would come up, introduce themselves, start chatting, breaking the ice, and let me feel relaxed and calm, and just little things like that you perhaps don't think of, can be big hurdles for people.
Jazakallah for that, Brother Paul. Now, dear listeners, just to remind you, you are listening to the Welcome to Islam show, and today we are mainly talking about the support for New Muslim in Luton, and especially what has happened since we've started doing this show, Welcome to Islam show. We have it's been a year now. We have managed to establish a New Muslim circle at Hawkwill Ring Masjid, and we are talking about it mainly about this circle, the meeting that happens at Hawkwill Ring Masjid, and how it becomes a very successful meeting for New Muslim, inshallah. So I just want to highlight a few things about the circle. Myself and Sister Kerry, we run the circle. Every Thursday, every second Thursday and the last Thursday of every month, 7:30 to 8:30. Sometimes the circle goes on for a little bit longer. Yeah, but alhamdulillah,
it's a good thing you brought that up, actually, because of course, for the gentlemen that might decide to come along, that they're probably going to be feeling more comfortable having a male contact, and of course for the ladies that want to come, they're probably going to be more comfortable having a female contact, and I can assure you, listeners, that is something that the masjid has set up very, very well.
Yes,
with really, really, very, 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 very helpful, knowledgeable, and helpful people.
Alhamdulillah. I'd just like to share with the listeners some of the feedbacks of the attendees, that the new Muslims that comes to the circle, the meetings that we have, how they felt, especially the recent feedbacks. I'm gonna just read some of the feedbacks of the attendees that comes to the circle. So just gonna find some. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, so here we go. New Muslim circle. Okay, so one brother, this is what he said. He said, I found our meeting tonight to be informative and very interesting. And another person after the meeting says that, I enjoy it, and I always feel inspired after the meeting. So that's really good to know that. Another feedback I can share, someone else was saying, it was really, it was generally a reading. Oh, sorry, the wrong one. Yeah. So here we go. Yeah, another brother was saying that he found the circle to be friendly and informative meeting last night, discussing chapters from the Quran. So these are some of the feedbacks that we get from the circle. So it just shows that the new Muslims get inspired. They're learning new knowledge, which is very important. Going back to the hadith of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was. What did he say, brother? Do you remember?
I don't. You'll have to remind me. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. That the hadith was.
Oh, sorry. Acquire true knowledge and understanding of Islam. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The best among you in the days of ignorance are the best in the days after accepting Islam." So once you accept Islam, provided that they acquire true knowledge and understanding of Islam. It's in the Bukhari and Muslim. So this meeting, that circle that takes place, second Thursday and every Thursday. Every last Thursday of every month, it's a platform where they can acquire knowledge. So we've been covering various topics now, sometimes mainly from Quran, chapters from the Quran, and we've been reading it. We've been trying to understand it and how we can apply it in our daily lives. And it's a very relaxed environment. Where we meet each other, get to know each other, and we inquire each other's daily activities. If there's an issue they're having, there's the agenda. When we meet, we have very informal gathering there where we interact with everybody has chance to interact with each other. So that's very important, that a new Muslim, when they come, they feel relaxed, and at the same time an aim and objective is being achieved, which is to get closer to Allah, build relationship, acquire knowledge. And how do we acquire knowledge? Acquire knowledge is very important. To acquire knowledge, we have to do it from the right sources, Quran and Sunnah. And a new Muslim needs help, support, and they have to start somewhere. So this is the sort of things that
it is very, very important. I mean, without doubt, if I remember back to my early days, having the fortune to have people who became very, very good friends. And some of them I'm still in touch with now, all these years later. So they were with me on the journey from when I wasn't Muslim and right the way through. So I've recently been in touch with an old friend who now lives in Nottingham, Pakistani friend. And I've got a Bangladeshi friend who lives in Ipswich. So I've been in touch with these guys again after a long time. And the lovely thing is when we're in touch with each other now, we're able to literally talk to one another as if no years have gone by at all, because we were so close. We were so closely bonded from that time when I became Muslim. It's like a bond that truly is. I mean, we use that word a lot. We say, "Oh, brother Paul, brother Abu Bakr, brother Said," but you really realise how important that is when you have that bond, that someone takes the trouble to look after you, to make sure that they're there for you for any questions that you have. For example, simple things that you perhaps wouldn't think of, being completely clear on all the do's and don'ts with what to eat and what you shouldn't eat, the do's and don'ts, and the proper way how to pray, how many rakats to pray in each prayer. For example, when I first became Muslim, I wasn't able to pray unless I was standing behind or next to someone who was reading every single word of the prayer out loud. So, for example, At-Tahiyatu lillahi was-salawatu wa-tayyibatu. So the same way that you will teach your children when they're young, you're allowed to read this out loud. I had to remind my friends, look, you're going to have to do this, you know. And of course, they found it strange because, that they think, but that's what you do with little kids. I said, but I am like a little kid, and and of course they picked up on the things, and they realised, of course, that these things made me quite anxious because I wanted to pray, but I didn't yet know how to pray.
Yes.
So these things that you perhaps might think aren't very, very important. On that day when that person becomes Muslim and they want to get everything right, and it's a really, really wonderful opportunity for you to bond with someone, and of course for the person that's helping them to earn so very much reward.
Absolutely,
because if you're the person helping them learn how to pray.
See,
like my friend Matlub in Nottingham, he was one of the people that helped me learn how to pray. Every time I do a prayer now, he's got some reward in that, because that knowledge is linking back to when I would stand behind him.
Our community seems to generally have that perception that when somebody comes to Islam and does Shahada, they think that they're probably already a semi-sheikh, got great knowledge and everything before. But that's not always necessarily the case for everyone. Yeah. Some people may have studied and have acquired great knowledge before they accepted Islam. But knowledge is one thing, and practical element is something separate. So, having knowledge is good, but also you have to practice, and a new Muslim needs help in that and support in that field. Practical help is very, very important. So we get new Muslims in our circle, and our meeting comes to us that they need support, like things like Salah, one-to-one support. So it's very important that we have the facilities within our community. Luton is a massive place for Muslims, there's a big community, and we need to have more facilities available for them. We know the Luton Revert Group, which is run by Sister Kerry, is doing some work, where this is more of a social event for them, so they don't feel as isolated, but the masjids in different areas of Luton needs to also open their doors, like Hokul Ring Masjid is doing, already started because of this show. So we have to be thankful to Inspire FM, who has led the platform. From this show, Welcome to Islam, we've been inspired and gone on to open a new Muslim circle at Hokul Ring Masjid. Dear listeners, you are listening to Welcome to Islam Show on Inspire FM. My name is Saeed, and I have Brother Paul in the studio with us. If you want to call into the studio and be part of our discussion, or if you've got any suggestion,
give us a call and give us some idea of some of your experiences out there. Maybe you're a new Muslim yourself, or you're a person that was born Muslim, and you know a person that has become Muslim, and you can share with stories of how you've helped people through the new journey, as it were.
The number in the studio is 01582 481822. You could message us on 07779 481822. Yes, brother. You were saying about your experience and Salah, how you started praying Salah.
Well, interestingly enough, I one of the things that helped me remember how to do things was actually a prayer book that had been written at the time for children. Of course, now you can find things very easily on the internet and YouTube, but the internet didn't exist back then. Having someone to it's little things. For example, how to pronounce things properly in the prayer.
Yeah.
So, for example, the word qad, yeah, when it's written in English, they spell it with a Q.
Mm.
Now, of course, when you see a Q in English, you pronounce it qua, as in quick, the
Yeah.
word quick, and just little things like this.
Mm.
So I was trying to read through and read it. Of course, I was mispronouncing it, and it was only because I had brothers there with me who were saying, "Why are you saying
Yeah.
it like that for?" And I said,
Yeah.
well, that's how it's written. This, no, forget that. You pronounce it like this. You know, it's because I had someone to help go through it with me.
Jazakallah for that.
It was such a much easier thing to learn.
Jazakallah, Brother Paul. We're going to be coming to a break in a moment. After the break,
Okay.
we are going to continue with this. But specifically, I know we've been talking about support and the new Muslim circle that's been available at Hok Al Ring Masjid. We're also going to be talking about a bit more struggles after the break for new Muslims, so that our listeners can appreciate more about the need of support. Inshallah.
And perhaps they can ring in.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
You're listening to an Inspire FM podcast, making available our popular programs from our daily broadcast on Inspire FM.
Assalamu alaikum, dear listeners. Welcome back to Welcome to Islam
Inadvertent technical hitch there. Side by, he'd forgotten that he'd already clicked the
okay.
the button on the computer, so we didn't realise we were live.
Alhamdulillah, you are listening to
Alhamdulillah.
Welcome to Islam show on Inspire FM 105.1. My name is Saeed, and I have Brother Paul in the studio, who's my co-presenter today.
Assalamu alaikum.
We've been talking about mainly the support for new Muslims, and the work that the new Muslim circle at Hok Al Ring Masjid is doing.
Yeah.
I think the Luton community need to be aware of it. This circle for new Muslims been going on for almost a year now,
Yeah.
and it runs every second Thursday and the last Thursday of each month, so twice a month,
Yeah.
7:30 onwards for at least an hour. And it's been really successful, and it's growing in strength. For the last 4 or 5 sessions that we've had, we had numbers 6, 7, sometimes once we even reached double figures of attendees, and it's really good. Numbers is not the main thing. What we're looking for is quality. And when we have meetings with new Muslims, there's so much barakah in it, because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said,
So.
when a brother and sisters meets for the sake of Allah, especially in the house of Allah, the angels, communicates with our Creator, and Allah will ask angels, what are these servants doing? And angels will reply, them servants are glorifying you. They met in the masjid for the sake of to please you, to learn knowledge. And you know what? Allah says back to them, these people, give them whatever they want. So this is a huge benefit of such meetings, inshallah. And any work that we do for the sake of Allah is rewarded, especially when we have new members in our community, in our deen. We need to reach out, we need to help them. And where is this support?
Yeah. Actually, on this point, listeners,
Where is this help?
if you're aware of anything happening in any of the other masjids in Luton Town, please give us a ring and let us know, so we can share the good work that you're aware is going on.
Definitely.
We're just talking about Hok Al Ring just simply because there's a little group of us that became friends actually via the radio station some years ago, and but by chance just happened that some of those brothers ended up being some of the trustees of the masjid. That's not me, one of those people, but it's
Yes.
because they were actually getting involved with the radio station, and then they were helping open the masjid. All of these things have gone on to give them the idea and the inspiration, which of course is why they named the radio station that way.
Inspire
Exactly.
FM is there to inspire the community.
Yeah, the whole community.
And it's definitely inspiring the community and in Islam as well.
Yeah.
It's supporting and helping. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah, we've got so many wonderful masjids in town.
26, 27.
Yeah. The big one on Westbourne Road,
Big communities.
which is I've driven past recently. They've had massive extra building recently, haven't they? So I'm sure in some of the other masjids in the town, there's a lot going on. So if you're linked to any of this, brothers and sisters, give us a call and share what you know is going on elsewhere.
The number in the studio is 015-8248-481822. Again, 015-8248-1822. You could message or WhatsApp on 07779481822.
Now, just a point that came to mind just before we stopped. We were talking about how I learnt to pray. And while we were off air, I remembered somebody that I came across probably about 15 or more years ago, and I came across this brother. I can't remember his name now. English convert, and he was speaking, and he'd been Muslim many years. It was at least 3, maybe 4 years. And he still hadn't learnt how to pray, simply because he found that the language a total barrier.
Arabic.
Yeah, and when I met him, I was living in London at the time, and I met him a place called the Markfield Centre, which is a centre for Muslims just outside of Leicester, and I met him there, and I suddenly realised, gosh, of course you really would find Arabic and how to pronounce it and get your head around it. For some people,
daunting,
incredibly difficult.
Yes, I can imagine that, and I'm sure there's plenty of are in this position.
If you've got someone like I had that was reading everything aloud all of the time, very very quickly your ear starts to hear where one Arabic word starts and ends, and you pick it up very very quickly, and it really made me realise that you need a friend and teacher. So it is really important to remember.
And the new Muslims actually need to attend classes. If in regular classes to learn Arabic, you need regular ongoing classes. It's not going to happen just by putting it off. I'm going to do few here and there, few sessions here and there. It needs dedicated time and practice actually. And if you put in the work, Allah will make it easy for you.
Yeah, inshallah. Actually, learning to read Arabic properly is something I still haven't done. And if I'm honest, it's not because I can't. It's just something that I put off because I get so busy with having to do a lot of personal reading with my job. I just find it too difficult.
Yes.
But one day, inshallah, I really should, because my wife actually teaches Arabic and
to be
Quran.
honest, it would be like any other language. I would imagine, like if you wanted to say learn Spanish, for example, you would start with somewhere like alphabets and so on, how to read. Understanding is a different level altogether. The main thing to acquire to begin with, I think, like most of us did, native Muslims who were born in a Muslim household, especially from Asian subcontinent, we were just taught how to read, the Arabic, starting with alphabets and the sounds, like phonic sounds, ba, sta, certain things, like make sounds. So you learn all these sounds. And then you relate it to your own mother language, the different sounds. Then you practice.
But it's interesting what you said, because we're taught that the word Quran means reading. And I was actually told a story once by a sheikh. He met a man that was a hafiz and a sheikh, and this man himself, who was the Hafiz, couldn't actually read. He'd learn everything and become a Hafiz himself, completely by listening.
SubhanAllah. There's other ways,
Yeah.
by listening.
So because and that's the thing, that the command at this when the first ayah was revealed to the Prophet ﷺ was Iqra, which means read or it literally means to read out loud, doesn't it? It doesn't. It's often translated as read, but I can't think of one word which it means to speak it out loud, really, doesn't it? To proclaim, and SubhanAllah. So this sheikh told me once that he came across a man that was a sheikh and a hafiz, and this man had never learnt even to read from his country of original origin. Everything had been from listening.
Okay, so this is something that if someone struggles reading and doesn't have time, they could start listening. This is that option they could consider. But we wouldn't encourage that. As a first source.
No. But so it is invaluable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the way I did it. Like I said, I had a children's book of prayer, and of course, like I said before, some of the like I said, the one that I always would trip on is like, for example, like when you say Kul Huwallahu Ahad, Kul Huwallahu Ahad. So when I used to see the Q, I would say Kul, quick, Qual. And they say, what's that? What are you doing? I said, well, it says Q there. But why are you pronouncing it like that? I said, well, that's how you pronounce Q. Qua. Oh no! They said, no, it's not like that.
Have you learnt it now, how to do it?
Oh yes, yeah. But it's because when
ul. The bottom of the throat. Ul. Qalqala. Yeah.
But it's because when I had the English and I had my Pakistani friends who I was very close to, so they would correct me. So very, very quickly, the points that are very, very difficult, your mind remembers straight away.
Yeah.
So of course, when you've been corrected a couple of times, you don't keep making the same mistake.
Yes.
And mashallah, so brothers and sisters, if you come across anyone in that situation, they're learning to pray, you might think that you've got to put lots and lots of hours in, but if you make sure that they have got everything written out in the steps, and if you just help them pronounce the difficult parts, I think, because remember, you're doing it 5 times a day, I think I'd learnt it, I actually learnt it all in about 3 weeks.
Mashallah.
Now, for some people, that they might think, oh, that's quite quick or slow, but some people they find memorization of things like this quite difficult. So just a little thing, if you come across someone and they're holding a book praying, be kind to them and don't say anything to sort of, make them feel silly or, because remember that they're doing the best that they can.
Absolutely. Okay, let's just remind the listeners of our main discussion points for today, and we will carry on with that. Dear listeners, you're listening to Welcome to Islam show, and on Inspire FM 105.1. And today we've been talking about the need for support, the support for new Muslims, and the current supports are available in Luton mainly. And we've been highlighting the new Muslim circle that takes place at Hawk Ring Masjid.
Yeah.
Second Thursday and the last Thursday of every month, from 7:30 p.m. onwards to 8:30 p.m. Now we have been getting a number of attendees, new Muslim attending the circle, and I've read out some in the first part of the show, some feedbacks. I've got one more here which I can just quickly share with you, listeners. Another, I think it's from a sister. She says, Alhamdulillah, another beneficial evening. Always learn new things and boost iman. May Allah accept from us our deeds and reward from all efforts, and forgive any sins. Ameen. So,
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
This is really good, you know, to know that the sister and the people who attend, you know, they are reaping the benefit of it. So it's important that we open our doors and have the facilities for new Muslims, and we want to see, you know, what other masjids are also doing. Maybe we're not aware of that. You might have some sort of facilities for new Muslims, and you've got some suggestions or anything
perhaps
like that.
Here's a little challenge for any of the listeners, because we haven't had any of you ring in. It's like Bai said, there's, what was it, 26, 28 masjids?
Yeah, 26, 27 masjids.
26, 27 masjids. So if you're not sure of something going on in your masjid, have an ask this week and see what you can find out. And perhaps, inshallah, next time we're with you, call in and let us know, and then we can share that good news with everyone. Because one of the things that we should forget, and it's easy for us to forget. Get into one frame of thinking is like, oh well, I go to this mosque and I don't go to another mosque, you know, and if I've had a need to pray somewhere, I've always said, right, I'm going to go to this mosque, and so a couple of weeks ago, my wife said, I need you to get me this. So I said, oh okay then. I said I'll go just before Maghrib. And is it on Lady Margaret Road? You know there's there's a shop, and on the same corner, on the same part of the shop, there's a masjid just opposite. Do you know what I mean? Near where Co-op used to be.
Okay, yeah. Biscuit Road, is it?
Not on Biscuit Road.
No.
Is it Lady Margaret Road? But it's the not Biscuit Road, the other one.
Okay.
Where the other Co-op used to be, where the poor man was sadly murdered some time ago. I remember, and so what I did. So I went out and did my errand, but I took my son with me, and we went to that masjid there for the first time, and we hadn't been there before. So inshallah, it's a good opportunity, everyone. If you've got knowledge of anything going on in the masjids you go to, you know, share it with us. You know, we really do need to remember that idea in our minds that all of the masjids are ours. We belong to all of them, really, don't we?
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, they're open to all of us, and you know, if we needed to pray anywhere, you know, or pop in for Jummah, you know, we would quite rightly, of course, go anywhere. I'll be honest, actually, the reason why I like Hockwell Ring Masjid is because it's always easy to park there. anywhere in town. Especially like in like Bury Park Road area.
It's limited. Parking spaces are limited.
Everywhere's difficult there now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everywhere's double yellow now. And, there's no parking anywhere. Didn't used to be like that many years ago.
Some of the masjids has their own car park space. Sometimes, you know, especially on Jummah day, it'll be full. It'll be hard to, you know, get the spaces unless you're there quite in good time.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. So perhaps another thing anyone listening could think about is if they've got an experience where they've spoken to someone and had a way of getting ideas about Islam across, or encouraging someone, that's also something that would be really nice for you to ring in and share, because all of us really should remember that we're all, how could I put it, we're all ambassadors for Islam. So for example, I myself at the moment, for example, I work at a Catholic school. And all of the teachers there know I'm Muslim, and some of the children. So of course, when you're known wherever you are to be a Muslim or whatever, that in itself can sometimes become make you, as it were, the focus point for asking questions. So, for example, I've been asked when I've worked in schools, some is saying he can't swim because it's Ramadan, and I said, no, that's not true. There's no reason why he can't swim if it's Ramadan. I said, if any water goes in his mouth, and I said, and if he swallows it accidentally, I said, it does not break his fast. Of course, children will try things, and it's just for example, little things like that, where you will be seen, as it were, as a person with knowledge on a Muslim issue. So if you've got anyone around you where you've been talking about Islam, sharing ideas, and people have become interested, and exactly what is it that made them interested, share it with us, because these are the sort of conversations that would be lovely for us to have in this show going on, so that we can share good practice.
Yeah, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the best among you is the ones who seek knowledge and acquire the true knowledge of Islam. And if you don't have the true knowledge of Islam and have the best knowledge, and you don't acquire and you seek knowledge, then you're not going to be able to be a good ambassador.
Yeah.
Okay. Regardless whether you're new Muslim or born in a Muslim household, so we have a responsibility, duty, especially in a non-Muslim society.
Yeah.
When we live in a non-Muslim society, we have an added responsibility, and we need to be more conscious of that. Ambassador, using the word ambassador, representing Islam, is a big word. And if people understood truly what does the Shahada meant, things would be different. It's about deep conviction, having the right attitude, have mental connection, heart needs to be connected with your Creator, and understand what you've actually said, and act upon it, and acquire the true knowledge. If you don't have the true knowledge, it's going to be hit and miss. It's going to be, you won't be able to defend yourself, and you'll be able to, most of the time, people would take you as a joke, of your religion, because you'd be misrepresenting it. You'll be doing things that's going to make other people, the onlookers, the non-Muslim, be quite afraid of your religion, or might think, what kind of religion is this? Barbaric, all the stuff you see in media. It doesn't help. So education, having the place for seeking knowledge is important. So it's important that the masjids provides, every masjid in Luton and elsewhere provides the platform for seeking knowledge for Muslims, especially new Muslims, and the Muslims who doesn't have the right knowledge. Bring them in, call them into masjids. That's the house of Allah. That is the best place of learning, should be. Seeking knowledge, and we don't seem to get enough of that. We don't seem to get invites, from the committee, from the people who are engaged in Muslim in masjids already. They have the responsibility to open their doors and call people to their masjids. So that they can get the right knowledge and be the ambassador you've mentioned, brother. What do you think?
Well, inshallah, I mean, it's quite true what you said. I mean, really, if you ask anyone who's a Muslim, or who's the person that you love the most, we will all say the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But if it's quite right what you said, if we don't take the trouble to find out about his life and what he was like, and why was it that so many people followed him, what was it about his character, his nature, what was it that he was able to electrify people's interest, and it's not just Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but all of the prophets. Remember, they were picked by Allah because they were the best of people to carry the message at each of their times in history. And of course, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam being the last of the prophets, being of course the most important prophet, is the best of examples, and the Quran describes him as literally the best example for us to follow, and it says whatever he brings to us, we must take it. But of course, if we don't take the opportunity to increase our knowledge about him and how he would deal with people. See, it's those things in dealing with people that are not Muslim or newly Muslim. These are the things that we need to equip ourselves with. But it's not too difficult, really. I mean, the things about Muslim people that I found absolutely fascinating and electrifying was their warm-heartedness, their friendliness, their generosity. If you popped out for anywhere to eat, then wanting to pay for it and wouldn't let you pay for it. It's like, they would treat you all the time, even if you were going out together, like the guest, and they would invite you into their house, meet their families. These were the electrifying things that held my interest, and these are the things that we need to remember that keep a person interested in Islam that's getting newly interested.
Be kind, be mindful of your actions, follow the examples of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, especially towards new Muslims. Open your doors, invite them to masjid, houses, build good relationship, and always smile. Have a smile on your face. Smile is a charity as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Muslims are forgetting to smile nowadays, finding it difficult. We're now coming to end of our show. Jazakallah for listening, dear listeners.
Perhaps you can remember, everyone, let us know what's going on elsewhere in the town.
Inshallah.
I'm sure there's more than Hockwell Ring. So many of our wonderful masjids are doing so much, I'm sure.
Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam, everyone. Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We stream our daily broadcast on inspirefm.org. You'll find all our daily updates on our social media at Inspire FM Luton.